the importance of knowing numbers and knowing letters, and essentially just knowing what you need to know regardless of what's been previewed to you, right? So we all need some type of direction or some type of sense of something to be able to look at and decipher and get further, aka like learning something, right? So when you are learning something, it's pretty important to know whoever that person or that intellect came up with that. Do you need to know who they were, or no, not know who they were? You need to know what type of person what type of way they always vibed at, right? And then you need to know why someone would come up with something like whatever was previewed or shown to you or given to you, information, anything. So, say all of this to say the importance of knowing about numbers and letters. Because first is numbers. It has to be, where it's at. Okay, one over there, two over there. Like it's all a plane of kind of existence, levels, if you will. But it's really just how far and how close something is. But it's levels, right? That's the frequency. That's the first point. That's that first line before it starts buzzing. So that's why numbers come first, and there's only 9 numbers until you start adding value using Jumanjia. But as far as numerology and knowing the English language, it's not so much of trying to break down what was before this, what was before that to get to, because that's not going to do anything but infinite digress you into a hole of constant information that you're never going to find out. You find your way out of to see that you was in that, right? So it's important to know that you can pretty much uh you are a walking numerology. Like you use numbers all the time. Like you have to have a starting basis to create anything, okay? And I'm just letting y'all know the starting basis of letters and words and spells that you throw out on people came from numbers. So if you can understand where a number is at, and how someone could use a certain scheme to start drawing things from a square aspect. So we got the square, we got the circle, and they can draw like the square out of the whole aspect to make uh or cut. Okay, it's a circle, they cut the straight, and then they put the crossings by it, right? So you got your straight you, and then you able to like cut out yourself or go through the experience beyond yourself in a way or something like that. Just cutting it into four corners. One, two, three, four. Okay. So when you got this scheme, you know that everything starts with the front, the straight, the I, the one. So and they pretty much make the sigils off of that. And so, but like I said, if you know just life, you can just use the numbers. So let's just talk about, use an example. We can talk about the word um we can talk about the word dying. Okay. So if you know where um so we're gonna talk about dying. So dying is the Dying, right? So if you know that D can just be considered, it's if you're talking about capital, it starts like this, then it bends out into the other bottom part, right? So that means that you're gonna start from the top of the eye and go down. So that's just something coming down from the eye. So it's something down, and then the Y is just it's like a V that stands up. So it's like you're open to uh any type of point of energy, right? And so that's the Y. And then the I is, the I, the you. So you think the DY is you that you're carrying. And then the N is in. You go from the point, go up, and then you go down, and then go back up. So you just in something. You're in a fucking a flux. And then G. G is all about great, grop, Galileo, big, something that's getting bigger. So if you just break down that word, you just know that dying is just something that's down here that you're open to, that you might think you're going to do, that you just try to make bigger. So it's almost like an illusion that you just think you're inside of as an experience, and you kind of like make it bigger than what it is. Almost like making a problem bigger than what it is, right? So but if you just know the numbers 1 through 9, you can just kind of figure out how, what I'm saying, things came to be. So instead of always going back and forth, going back into time, going back into history, just know that first of all, it was set up for you to have a language. Even if you want to go back to the days before you, even all the way Egyptian ages, these were not for you. These were just the way that the people that are oppressing us now, bloodline, did it then. But this didn't have nothing to do with me and you. That's why we still not in power right now. So either way, no more trying to break down anything unless you just understand the pureness of just frequency itself and numbers themselves. So anytime you see a damn symbol, you can break it down. You can break down even the color spectrum. Like if you know numbers, you can just break down everything under numbers are the point, because numbers come from idea of where you sparked from, or where or how you move, or what space you kind of in. So numbers are the first space. Okay. I'm gonna do 1 through 9. So 1 is you, the self. The 2 is what you have to value, what you can look at, you reflecting yourself. The 3 is what automatically comes out of the 1 and 2, because you had to have self and see something, and after you have yourself and see something that you made, it automatically makes a whole world around you. You brought two together. It's a sextile. You brought two together. Anytime two or something opposite come together, it's gonna make something else. Okay, 3. That's the whole situation around, the whole circumstance that you're in, because you had that first eye, and then you had that reflection. Then the 4 is what you kind of name whatever came out of that. So you'd be like, okay, this is the conclusion out of what it is. This is a that. This is a that. That's 4. And privacy and shit, and starting some shit. 5 is the center of something, or is how you can kind of emotionally connect to something, or how you can gain some type of attention from emotionally, like kind of getting the arousement of others. 6 is you on an everyday basis paying attention to one bubble of reality that you think that you kind of brought down from here. So it's essentially just you on a day-to-day paying attention, you finding, rooting out things that don't need to be in and shit like that. 7 is all about you bringing some type of new intellect, new information, new messenger, or something. Like if you just got an idea, you came and brought it in, like I'm doing right now. This is a 7 energy kind of. I'm bringing down angel. It's like that's angel number 7. If you look at the 7, it's a straight line from the top, and then you bring it down in an angle. It's not straight down. You bring it down like you veering that angle, so you kind of covering a lot of space from that line that you were at. Remember, line starts from the frequency. So you was at that frequency, you brought that frequency down. So it's angelic energy, detachment, because you got to detach to get to there, and you could stay there and detach and actually just go there, or just detach and bring down a message. Okay, 8 from there. We got the 8. If you turn it sideways, it's infinity. Okay, so it's the number of uh the number of in your own world, the number of you spending time into everything, the number of you could be your own worst enemy because you spending all the time into something that emotionally kind of connected you and now you don't even know how to see your way out because all the water is too heavy and you can't get out at that point. So it's just almost like 8 is all about insecurities, things that you wouldn't tell anybody, things that kind of hurt you, things that you've been involved with, and all of that. Your own universe, okay? 4 plus 4, you want to use Jumanjia. What happens when you have a conclusion to something and then you make another conclusion out of that? So you name something, but then you come out right after that naming that something else. Then it's just like, well, damn, you're just gonna be in two conclusions flying. So it's 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. So yeah. 9, which is the last number before we start adding on Jumanjia. Even though I just did that, but I was just trying to explain to y'all how 4 and 4 can make an 8. It's a lot of things can make 8. 5 and 3. The 5, the middle is something, emotional attachment, the attention bringer, and then the 3, the circle around it. It's gonna circle around that shit. So it's gonna make a whole universe. An 8. Jumanji. 9 is the number of just the first the all realm, I guess, or the realm of where we're all just kind of not even really being aware. We just kind of floating and going with the just kind of space, just there, not really observing anything, just there. So it's all about the state of being. 9 is just the state that you come from, the place that you first originated from, that circle, that space you originated from, to bring down and hook on down here, or to hook that state of being down here as best as possible, or in the life or death realm, and your thoughts, or in how you think and how you be feeling about your thoughts and shit. Anyways, love y'all. Just wanted to break down what the real is, and yay.